I've got a I've got a few flying stories, and I don't know, in over 40-year commercial airline career, things are going to happen, and there's a bunch of good ones. I'm going to try to pick through the cream of the crop and not tell everything that happened or anything like that. But I got a few highlights, some fun stuff. Before I started with the airline, though, I had a little aerobatic airplane called a Pitts Special, and it was quite high performance, really fun. Flew a lot of air shows and a lot of competition in it. Really enjoyed it. Had some friends that had them, and we had a best time. It was a great time. I had it 10 years. One time I had that thing based down in Pompano Beach, and I was going to bring it back. I was leaving in Jamaica then, so that would have been 78 or so. And I was going to fly it back to Georgia. And I probably, seems like I could have made one or two stops. I don't remember. I stopped down in Florida maybe. And I had some maps that had most of Georgia and a little bit of Alabama and of course Florida. I thought, well, that's all I need to get home. I'm a VFR, visual, going to stay clear of the clouds. I got to do that. And it's a pretty day, get up in the morning, go type thing. So I'm flying, and it kind of the cumulus clouds building up, and I keep having to move a little further west because it looked a little clearer west. So I kept moving west. Eventually, I got to the edge of my maps. I got off the map a little bit, but I kept thinking, okay, I can get around this little old bunch of puffy stuff and then turn back east, and I'll be back on my map and I'll know where I am. So I kind of knew where I was. Well, that didn't happen. Just kept building. Didn't have a whole lot of range in that thing, maybe an hour and 35 minutes, something like that, I believe. 2 hours you're out of gas. So I was going to have to do something, and I started looking around for an airport. I couldn't find one. Following the biggest roads I could find, usually they lead to towns. I couldn't find one. And I finally saw, I'm getting low on gas now. I see this little crop dusting strip, and I mean, it is short, and it is narrow, and it's right in the middle of a big cornfield. Corn on both sides. It looks super short. And a Pitts, that's a problem. Pitts tail wheel, nose is big and up in front of you, so you can't see around it. You usually have to slip, to be even put your head over the side and be able to see around the nose to see where you're landing and what you're doing. So it was going to be difficult, but I was kind of running out of options and wasn't happy about it, but I didn't have any choices. There was a crop duster sitting out there at the end of it. It was paved, but it was narrow. I mean, I just couldn't get over it. In fact, it looked like it was one lane of a paved road down the middle of a cornfield. So I knew they were flying off of it. I just didn't know whether I could. So I had kind of one shot at it. I got it on the ground at the very end, and it worked out. And squeezed on the brakes hard as I could. I had to slip until I got down in that hole with that corn, and got on the brakes as hard as I could. The little thing skipping and chirping and everything, brakes, kind of maximum braking, let's put it that way. I came to a stop, kicked the tail wheel around, looked, and I was about 40 feet from the end of that pavement. It was not good. I came back and shut it down. Within I climbed out, about 3 or 4 minutes, pickup truckload of country boys came flying up. They had been down at the diner eating their lunch, but it turned out that was that crop dusting crew. One was a pilot, and like 3 of them were the friends, I guess. One of them probably gassed him. They load the hopper, whatever, however that works. And man, were they excited to see that little Pitts in there. Never couldn't believe it. And I said, can y'all get some gas? Can I get some gas from y'all? And they said, all we got is car gas. I said, well, I don't think I'm supposed to run that in it, but to get out of here, I will. And where am I? So they showed me on the map. I knew how to get out of there then. And I got a few gallons of gas from them, enough to get back over towards the east and get on my map and find me a big town, get some gas. And I remember what that fella said. One of them said, when they pulled up and he jumped out of that truck, he said, That little heifer's as short as it is wide. And I remember thinking, man, I love that. And here I am telling it 40 years later. But they gave me some gas, and they said, how about for that gas, we're not going to charge you, but how about you do some kind of little dido or something when you leave here, some kind of a trick. So I did a couple of rolls, and man, I didn't want to do that again. It was really sketchy.